Hell yeah, happy May 4th, aka May the 4th be with you. Today I'm I'm reading Duel on Shattered Ice, a Star Wars Sonic the Hedgehog crossover. You're welcome, and I'm sorry. Location: Planet Halaska, White Acropolis Zone. A starship grew close to the frigid world, breaking through its chilled atmosphere. Gliding across the snow-coated terrain, the craft slowed till it hovered mere feet from the surface. With a low hum, it perched itself on the thick snow, its landing gear already poking out from below. Then the boarding ramp lowered open, where a hooded figure wearing robes of brown stepped off the ship. The freezing snow was almost knee-deep, but the figure resolutely trudged forward. Soon the thick white seemed more shallow and more slippery. The figure now realized he was walking across a thickly coated ice lake, possibly thicker than the snow above, and made careful steps to test its strength. No cracks were heard, but the figure felt something unnerving nearby. But where? "You shouldn't have come alone," said a voice. The figure turned to see Person dressed in black robes. "Yeah, but where's the fun in that?" the figure taunted, smiling, pulling his hood down to reveal a pair of huge emerald green eyes, a pointy nose, and a set of long blue spines. The Sith's eyes narrowed. "Obviously, your arrogance hasn't shifted since we last met," she said coldly. "Call it a bad habit. I've been trying to keep it under control, though," the dark figure sneered. "One that's only going to get you dead, rodent Jedi." "You keep telling yourself that. As for me, I've got a mission and it involves you, some bars, and some icky slop called Big's Attempted Prison Food," Sonic said defiantly, who grasped his lightsaber out of his pocket and ignited its green blade. "Not a chance, Hedgehog," the Sith yelled with anger, who also brought her lightsaber to her hand and revealed its crimson blade. Sonic leapt into the air at his opponent, spinning like a buzzsaw and flashing with vibrant green hue. The Sith spun on her heel and took off her robe for combat, leaving Sonic to bring his blade down on simple white snow. "You're out of your league, Sonic. There are only two options in which you can retreat or die by my saber. Defeating me is a challenge you and your thick head can't win at." Sonic quickly swung his saber into hers, shoving her back. "Man, and you say I have an ego problem," he groaned. The two fighters swung, slashed, and twirled their blades at each other's. Sonic was clearly the quicker duelist, making snake-like strikes near his opponent's hilt to disarm. Yet the Sith parried them with an elegant mastery of defense. Despite this, even a Sith as arrogant as she was could recognize who was beginning to control the battle. Shunting Sonic away, she leapt back, and before the Jedi could respond, she slammed her lightsaber deep into the ice. A small crackling sound followed, which ushered a nasty grin from the Sith. The cracking grew across the lake, along with the sound that now bore a similarity to a growling roll of thunder. Sonic dared to look down at his feet and noticed the many cracks surrounding him. "Ah, crud," he said miserably, and as though the cruel ice had hurt him, it split open, creating pieces big and small as far as any eye could see. Wobbling on his now small chunk, Sonic lost his focus and a little bit of his nerve with the knowledge of being surrounded by water. Oh, right, Sonic's afraid of water. Warranting the perfect opening for the Sith. She jumped from her more stable ice block, raising her saber high to bring about the final blow. By fate, or dumb luck, Sonic clumsily blocked it. "Hey, watch the hair, Eager McBeaver!" "Will you ever can it?" the Sith spat back. Again the two clashed, but with the cumbersome chunk wobbling and now on the move since the lake had opened up. Their swordplay wasn't anything fancy or flamboyant. It was time to see if risk could help get the win, thought Sonic. That's a mess of a sentence. He jumped high into the cloud-strewn sky and spun into a green, brown, and blue ball. Ew. Like some small comet, he aimed straight and true for his nemesis. It was close. So close she started to doubt her chance of victory, but she still managed to fling herself out of the way and land on her front. Sonic, however, landed perfectly, eyes closed. Once he had opened them, though, he curiously scanned the now empty space. You blue blockhead, the Sith said furiously. Guess the fight goes on. Sonic moped to himself before wheeling round. His opponent did not look pleased. You could have cut the iceberg and sent us both to be frozen with a stunt like that. Could have, but didn't. See the difference? The Jedi Hedgehog smirked, pointing his finger up to correct her, only to receive a furrowed brow in return. The two raised their weapons again, locking sabers with all might on arm. Come on, you've gotta give up somehow, sometime. Today at most, Sonic mocked with a strained voice. The Sith too found talking difficult. Not when my opponent is you, she retorted. Well, I hope you're up for the long run because I could keep this up all day. Sadly, though, the ice did not seem to agree with this notion as the sound of more cracking filled their ears again. They both looked down at the deep, long crack and returned their gaze to each other. Uh-oh, they said together, followed shortly by the iceberg splitting. Both prepared for the worst. Sonic even held his eyes shut and his breath for the water till he realized this left him open as an unlocked door. When he opened them, though, he saw the Sith a few feet away. They now floated by themselves. The Sith saw a good chance of attack. It was a long jump, but she could make it. Yet she knew Sonic's chunk of ice was too small for two. Sometimes even Sith feel the need to walk away. She switched off her lightsaber and said only solemnly, I suppose this is where we leave each other. But it doesn't end here, Sonic. We will meet again. Funny, I actually agree with you. And when we do meet again, I hope you'll be ready to taste defeat. Only in your mind, my mistaken Jedi, the Sith said, grinning, who spoke no more as she drifted further and further away. Sonic chuckled to himself over those last words. We'll see how that works out for you, he said to himself. Minutes passed by when he reached more snowy than dry land. The last few feet were particularly slow, ushering Sonic to tap his foot. Stepping off the ice, he looked back at the lake, thinking maybe he should have brought Tails with him, until he walked away to find his ship. Like I said, I'm not really sorry. Anyway, stuff is on screen. Click it if you want to. Subscribe for more garbage.